What else matters is the fact that we are seeing perhaps, Tyler, the makings of LCK versus LPL at Worlds. We could hypothetically have, other than G2, an entire field of LCK and LPL representatives. The only hope left in Group C and D, it really is Fnatic, as they are 2-1 right now.
Don't forget TSM. Don't forget the old TSM.
You're doing that for the likes. You're doing that for social media.
They're not dead just yet. They're not dead.
They're not dead mathematically. I agree. Neither is FlyQuest. Neither is Unicorns of Love. Okay, fine. With that said, Fnatic is 2-1. Yes. Hypothetically, on paper, they have the best statistical chance of making it out of groups. But the real possibility exists that we could have an LCK versus LPL situation here at Worlds. What would that mean, in your opinion? Just overall for League of Legends competitive.
It would suck for the West. I think the West got a lot of swagger to them. They got that confidence to them back in 2018 when the top four was 3 Western teams and 1 Asian team in IG, and everyone. I remember the temperature of the room. I was there. I was on the ground in Korea, and the Chinese and South Korean reporters were they're known for their dominance. They're known to walk into Worlds and dominate, especially for the South Korean reporters. And it felt like a winds of change, Art. It felt like a new generation was beginning where Western teams could rise to the top, and we would see maybe a final one day of NA versus Europe, or Europe versus Europe in a final. And now 2 years later, and we look at the standings, and there's only 2 regions of positive records at Worlds currently: China and South Korea. Even Europe, and I don't think people realize this, Europe has a losing record in not just play-ins plus the group stages, but the group stages overall. They have a losing record after Rogue's 1-5 performance today. Like China versus South Korea does seem like it is the storyline that's going to carry over to the playoff stage, with G2 maybe G2 and Fnatic playing the spoiler player, and I think those 2 teams could actually go a long way depending on what kind of matchups they get in the quarterfinals. But I really do think we have to see what we get from Gen G and DRX, but I think TES, JD Gaming, and Damwon are the favorites still. There's nothing really that's changed that for me. I think JD Gaming has really shown, even though they did lose to PSG today, I do think at their peak, at their top form, they are a team that can beat anyone in the world. Their early game does scare me, where we saw today where they picked a very, very cocky and they picked Kale. They picked a very arrogant comp against PSG, thinking they would get to a level where Kale could get to level 16 and they would be capable of just kind of taking over the game from the top lane. But PSG was smart about it and was like, no, we're not going to let your Kale scale. And they played aggressively. And they built a very, very strong early lead. And they exploited what JDG's biggest, weaknesses is that they are not the strongest laners. They are not a team that's going to, dice you up in the early game, where a lot of their strengths come to the mid to late game with their team fighting in macro play. So China versus South Korea looks like it's going to be the main event, but there's so many different factors right now. We still have to see what the other 2 groups bring and what the bracket brings us, because that always could be could always screw over a region or a team. There's been times where one region is on one side of the bracket and it's practically guaranteed that you're going to see a Chinese or Korean team in the final. Or we might see, some interregional matchups in the quarterfinals. So I do think that the logical play still is a Damwon versus TES or JDD final, and it's South Korea's top team versus China's top team. But there's a lot more to go, Arda. There's always twists and surprises. Today's group stage might have been a bit of a straightforward affair, but I still feel like there are big surprises coming for us in the coming days. And I'm not saying TSM, they're still alive. They're, only need 3 wins in a row is not that difficult, Arda. Is it? 3 wins.
So what we're saying is, like you said in January, congratulations to TSM on winning Worlds.
Oh, if TSM somehow won Worlds, oh my. You would
that clip would go viral.
Oh, I would. You would never. I'm going to the moon, man. I'm booking a straight ticket to NASA straight to the moon, because I would be.
Okay.
You hope TSM loses tomorrow. You hope they lose to Fnatic the first game tomorrow, because if somehow TSM pulls off the greatest comeback in League of Legends history to make the quarterfinals, I am going to be singing that clip that I did in January as a troll all tournament long until they're finally eliminated.
Can I just tell you, Majinster in the chat said, if TSM win Worlds, I will tattoo TSM on my face. Tyler, are you prepared to do the same?
No. If TSM wins, if TSM wins Worlds, I'll get a tattoo. I will get a tattoo of TSM on my body, not my face.
Oh, you will get a TSM tattoo, though.
Yes, I'll get a TSM tattoo. I'll say that right now. If they suck, again, the probability of TSM getting out of groups tomorrow is probably like below 3%, probably like 1%. I think one out of every 100 times they make it out of this group with 3 straight victories plus a tiebreaker, plus actually winning Worlds. We were talking about worse odds than.
No, I just love the idea that this is on the table, though. So let's chat. Let's just, you know what? Let's all become TSM fans for the next 24 hours. Let's all band together, just so Tyler has to get a tattoo. This rallies me more than anything else. My optimism level is now at a 12. I just wanted just putting it out there. Okay.
If
absolutely.
If TSM wins, clip it right here. I will say it now.
Chat's like, no. They're like, no, we're not even that. Not even that would be enough.
Not
okay.
even that.